fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. Hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't fool me again.
What people do eat no money, what people at you eat no at you. Covid money missing we eat the your little rat you. Use the youth the money waste and bust a man to statue. Say me like a catch you but bigger than a figure you. Take the spit of money gal and say that it's not you. One day the man above end up him a got a bet too much. It in the kitchen some a fly by like a patu. When singers and DJs and social media's coming at you.
It burn me
300% raise.
It burn me
Garbage pile of it.
It burn me
Give the teacher them raise.
It burn me
I see corruption face.
It burn me
Mash down the people them house.
It burn me
Every day appear arms out.
It burn me
Appear money them a thief.
It burn me
And them a sell out the beach.
Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't fool me again.
Come me say big up all the charities and all of the givers. Some a go like say them powerful, me no make a bigger. The 100 promises, none of them not deliver. Cut up the youth, they rap and they down in a whatever. Member bold money and they lie them tell. Corruption smell and they pocket them swell. When police don't a market like Satan out of hell, go mash up people start like thief when them sell.
It burn me
On them treat the market man.
It burn me
On them a treat the cat man.
It burn me
On them treat the peanut man.
It burn me
On them a treat the dirt man.
It burn me
On them a treat the son man.
It burn me
How them a treat policeman.
It burn me
How them a treat soldier man.
It burn me
How them a treat everyone.
Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again.
Global TV send another one. Oh, 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 oh. Global TV, I send them home. Yeah, man, this is Michael Buckley. I tell you, say, yo, the Global TV, yeah, man, me represent that 100%. Play the music, Global. Boom, shot.
Good morning, and welcome. Have you ever wondered recently what happened to Dr. Christopher Tufton? Why, of all the brouhaha and the swelter and the chalala that has been going on, Christopher Tufton, Bobby Montague, Floyd Green, they're kind of silent, aren't they? Kind of missing in action, aren't they? The other question to ask developing from that. Could there be a sweltering division in the Jamaica Labour Party? Is there a secret plot to unseat the unpopular Andrew Holness? Should Andrew Holness be looking over his shoulder? Is there a possibility that the Prime Minister could be stabbed on the floor of conference that will invoke a bitter leadership battle in the Jamaica Labour Party if they cannot do it by consensus? Good morning and welcome. Good afternoon to those who are joining in from London and the United Kingdom, to my community of party and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, viewers, subscribers, commenters, and trolls. Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome, one and all. How wanna do? Good morning, Sharon Bernard, Beat and Teach, RJ, Wayne Evans, Noreen Robinson, Rosemary Samuels, Abina Sarkodie, Jason Kane, Debbie Jervis TV, Wagwan, Danette Harriet, Marcia Essay, Michelle Lewis Wilson, Juliet Stills, or Shakes rather, Juliet Shakes, Jason Kane, Lily Foster, Carly Jones, Grace Linton, Brose, Willie Don, Violet Watson, Patricia Matthews. I hope you're listening to us and I hope you're doing well. Continue to send our love and our support to Patricia Matthews. June Plum 26, Marcia Thomas, Devontae Dunn. Good morning, all. Good morning and welcome. Thank you all for joining us. The battle continues with the Integrity Commission and the integrity-less government. But call Sophia Shortless. They call her Longmore. Call Sophia Shortless this morning. She is hosting the pig pen this morning. She, Miss Shortless, is the pig pen caretaker this morning. Call the Shortless woman for us. Because nobody don't think say them can come out and try to temper down this embarrassing debacle that they have created upon themselves. As if it's not disgraceful enough for the Jamaica Labour Party. It look like them want to hold we and wallow our face in the disgrace that they has become as a party and as a government. So if Andrew decides to burn down the whole country, everybody see it as okay. He's doing well. Him entitled to burn it down. Is the behavior of the Jamaica Labour Party. And with all these missing people in action, I'm beginning to wondering, is there a secret war going on at the moment? Is there a plot to unseat Andrew Holness? Because Christopher Tufton really quiet. I mean, he is really, really quiet. Is it that there's people withdrawing themselves from Andrew Holness in order for when the hog rub, the hog don't rub next to them? But it's too late if that is the plot. If that's the plan. To stay out there and go stream, go wash off yourself, Tufton. To re-emerge and come tell us, say, I'm clean enough to take over from Andrew. I'm cleaner than Andrew. Do you think when we look on the spoiled rice, the bad rice and the dead baby, them, the plastic rice and the dead baby, Dr. Tufton and you the Palm Beach in a COVID arrest drug dealer, do you think we forget about those things, Dr. Tufton? Him really quiet though. Flight Green. The American them a position you in it. Are you the American them want to work with? But then again, Flight Green, you're going to take everything the American give and make sure act to the front before you can give it to it. So you off the record, yes, sir. Deb, how are you? Bobby Montague. I mean, the country know you're a thief. Bobby Montague. The country know you're a grape tree, Bobby Montague. So, on a silent, fair clean up on yourself. Might as well the whole on put on the water boat and pick up on a push broom and go out there, go behave like Daryl, you know. Behave timid and alarmed and worried. But let's chat along with our slide. Because Kanye West, I was hoping that you weren't going to get caught in this debacle, but then again, you were a part of Sin City for quite some time, for a very long time. So, you helped kill the cow Kanye West as much as you have been awoken. because people think you're mad, but I've been saying it for years. Kanye West don't mad, he's just awoken. The unstoppable one. But if you help kill the cow, Kanye West, the blood spill upon you, you have to take responsibility for killing the cow. It is as simple as that, Kanye. If you not playing a diddy shit, you all are going to have to take on a responsibility of cleaning up diddy's shit. It is as simple as that. Your awokeness would have shown, and your speaking out would have shown that you have changed. You're being remorseful of the past or whatever. You see the light and you no longer decide to play the game, but you assisted Kanye West in the killing of the cow. Therefore, where the evidence fall, justice may follow. So much I can get away with crime. What Hollywood is exposing is that we have been idolizing criminals and monsters. And I hope this case, this whole P. Diddy showdown, will wake up a lot of people who don't have the money to look after them children, but make sure them save money to go one of these show, go faint in front of one of these celebrities who are demon possessed. Never understood it anyway. And I'm too old to try and understand such an outdated thing, you see. Jamaica need to bawl out about the disgraceful under-resourced justice and correctional system. I agree with that. I support that. The issue though, Jamaicans relax to every form of oppression. Jamaicans have been desensitized to oppression. Jamaicans are suffering from Stockholm Syndrome. Jamaicans have formed a friendly relationship with their abusers. I support this statement, but is Jamaican people are going to do anything about it? Because let me say this, Jamaicans across the island. Any one of you children or any one of you can end up in front of this corrupt justice system at any time. Your children or your family member, your community member could end up into the correctional facilities at any time. Doesn't mean they have done something worthy of them being there, Keith Matthews. Because we see how the government operate with Zozo and all that, how they can just scrape up people, throw in a cell without any legal advice, any court date, any charge, or whatever. So I do support Jamaicans coming together as a whole, and because one of the problem with crime escalating is because we have a justice system that is not working. We have a prison system which is dysfunctional. It's rather in a situation where it creates criminal than it rehabilitates criminal. This is why if the PMP wins and Isaac Buchanan wins his seat, it would be a good choice to place him at Ministry of Justice, where he would do well to um, deal with the situation with the courts and the prison across the country, given that he understands the situation. But then again, when politicians come in, them say them are going to do it, echo Sharon, how they do, and them say them not do it. Or the Office of Legal and Constitutional Affairs, because his knowledge of the Constitution would also be important to the new Galangin where Andrew Holness had tried, but it never concerned the people of Jamaica. It only concerned Marlene and Andrew, Agency Wagwan. It only concerned Marlene and Andrew, making sure them create a presidency for themselves, and then that's it. Nothing more than that. They never care about anything other than create a title called presidents, even though Marlene Malahufort don't know how it will work, what it will be, and she just don't know. Like and share the life, people. No, don't make me wanna go off pan. And a tangent this morning. We don't want the tangent this morning. Do you think we'll ever see this in Jamaica? Organized crime unit in Guyana recommend charges against assistant police commissioner. This is the type of justice system we want in a Jamaica, where we investigators and we prosecutors can do them work independently, and them pen don't have to tremble when them are going to sign anything, Marcia Gray, because politicians will call them and say, my youth, low that. When will we have this type of accountability or this type of independent investigation and prosecution? This is why I support the previous statement that Jamaicans, not only people will get in a debacle with the justice system or the police, all away, because we are subjected to the tyranny of the justice system or the correctional services. Maybe at some point, someone our relative, friends, or people we know, or whatever. It is not serving us at the moment. That much we can say. When you look at the breakdown of the situation of the courts that Brian Sykes told us about, and we have been made aware that them sell the courthouse to leech in a Portland for make bank. Ladybug, how you do? So, I do support this statement that we should, as Jamaicans, not as JLP and PNP, as Jamaicans, come together and ball out over this issue, because it is a threat to our democracy, because we're moving into a fascist dictatorship state. So when you see things like these are what you hope for Jamaica in our fight against corruption. Guyana would be leading the fight against corruption in the Caribbean if Guyana can refer these high-profile people to be charged. We can get there, you know, my people. We can get here. But if we allow politicians alone, leave it up to politicians alone, one could safely argue we will never get there. But if we, Matthew Akala, come together as a people and we demand accountability openness, transparency, and independency from our leaders and the stakeholders within leadership. I mean, they would have to work if we approach them as Jamaicans. But if we approach them as JLP supporting the JLP, if we approach them as PNP supporting the PNP, they're always going to cater to their closest and dearest and stick two finger up to those who they really don't care about. When we all approach them as Jamaicans, then them have to look upon we as Jamaicans. Them have to treat we as Jamaicans. They have to respond to us as Jamaicans. If we don't demand it, and if we don't think we deserve it, do you think we're ever going to have it? Let's trot along. Let us trot along. Murdoy. Beryllium. Me not have nothing to ask, you know. Me I make the police them do their job, but when me want to ask the police them, nah man. What wanna do with the money and what wanna go do with it? Cause we know say no. We don't seize drugs and money. Chalala, me no know you. It's a chalala situation. Soon and very soon we will never hear about how much a million and gazillion and so much we will find. Over 100 million in Jamaican dollars. When uno don't share it up, when uno don't share it up and cover up, Fitzbailey must have rubbed the back and head and say, Bumbus Barty skirt. This year, just after me leave, you know, Fitzbailey, because it is said that when Fitzbailey was at the organized crime unit, Fitzbailey, when there's a drugs bus on them something, Fitzbailey used to demand his cut of it. So to see such a big cut around money, Fitzbailey, where you know, I figure sell the drugs to achieve the money. Big, huge chunk. You could have just take up a plastic bag and walk off with it. In it fits. In it fits, Bailey. You would have take up a old plastic bag. I mean, also the US or the pound, you go after no Fitzbailey. You go say, cho, Jamaica dollar. No, sir, no, not at all. You don't say pound and dollars. Pound and dollars. Here's the one of the person got arrested from Uptown. Box covers. No, sir. But then again, when you see the house where they go raid, gangster, zinc fence boy, bleach out boy, careless boy, barefoot boy, bag juice and bulla boy. Not living in them house there. It's just the truth. When you look upon the house where them go raid, I know bag juice and bulla barefoot, japa batty pants boy, galang in that there. Them there all the way up, all the way up. Just like I remember the Havendale drug bus, all the way up. I wonder though, which party a lot of these money were going to support in the next general election. May I ask, me a journalist, and bad man and scammers and politicians are friend. May I ask, which party the money that they are going to support? Just asking. My friends say them want to know them. My friend mind people business, you know. And my friends say, done it, how you do? My friends say them want to know Willie done. How you do? How come Fitz leave? This case get bust beat and teeth. May I tell you, Fitz must have beat himself here now. But then again, you have to wonder, say, I wonder if them I say, boy, make we wait till Fitz gone, you know, because you know, say, If it's still there, Fitz are go control the loot if we bust that case there. When Fitz leave the 7th of September, innit? The man them must say, we'll keep it until Fitz go, because if Fitz there, Fitz I go call for him share. And we can't afford for Fitz one just a walk and take the big bus them so and I left we broke. Fitz can go and go rob the church people them. A long time Fitz a rob church people. Fitz not have nothing to lose. Even if Fitz never take the foreign job. Even if Fitz Bailey never take the foreign job, Fitz Bailey don't have nothing to lose. Hear them ya one ya. Because you don't even know if the amount of hold up with beryllium chuck. You don't even know who involved in it. But then you know, say, the way all these things are done, beryllium insiders are certainly involved. And there's a big bus out there. How do we know, say, only for them money and a fan beryllium bus? Me don't know, me just ask. I don't say a fan scamming. But me just ask. Oh, no, say none of it and a fan the beryllium chuck them where they all up with gun. Me just ask, it's a big ring. Both woman and man did a work for beryllium at one point. But then again, them say we meant to put business too much on social media. We should leave them alone, because when social media never in a fashion, they used to get to commit them crime in peace, and them couldn't pay the media them and tip them off and say, all right, just done with it there. So, and it done. But then mobile phone and internet and app and social platform just change the whole bloody thing. In it. Change it. Give us the power over those who you call fake news. Where you still got turn up far and point in camera and tell them like G to B to ba 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 ra to na. Them tell you the lie, turn up right here so, and then point in camera and tell you the lie about it. Abe, we have changed that. We can go closer up than you, the liars. Why you think Darrell Vaz so worried? The power of social media. You know, can go on. You think you can clip with wing. Thief! Jaw out everything and show the world you're a disgrace. A disgrace of a woman. A disgrace of a mother. A disgrace of a wife. A disgrace of a politician, a disgrace of one of the highest offices in Jamaica. Woman, you're just a disgrace. I mean, if we were to turn the pages of book and look for the word disgrace, your face turns up. If we were to go deeper into the word and look for the definition, your character turns up. Woman, the country is fed up of you. Can't you have seen that? Can't you have seen that it's over for you and your husband? Good God Almighty, man don't have shame, but we expect woman to have pride and dignity in a public. Man a dog, but we don't expect you to behave like man dog, lady. Leave the people them with them piece of land, no? Good God Almighty, on a thief, on a stuff, on a gut. As Jai would say, look how long on a Tanya, on a tough on a gut, on a still there in a way. Go on, no man. Go on.
Yeah, baby, I had grieve. And I can't say this to you, I tell you. I tell you, I know. I never expect this from you. Regardless of why you shouldn't do the Labour Party, you're a fucking wicked man. And because of blood clot greed, you sit down there for blood clot 8 years and you're full of blood. Yeah, baby, I had grieve. And I can't send this to you, I tell you. I tell you, I know. I never expect this from you. Regardless of why you shouldn't do the Labour Party, you're a fucking wicked man. And because of blood clot greed, you sit down there for blood clot 8 years and you're full of blood. Yeah.
Down there for 8 years, all because of greed and you full your crowd. Take your foot off of the people them neck, no. Take your foot off of the people them neck. Leave the people them with a piece of land. Good God Almighty, Juliet. You have already multi-story upon it. Leave the people them with a piece of land. Land don't have elastic, Juliet. Land can't stretch. All your thieves of it, woman. Huh? If you did that coronation market, the amount of beat you would and get, Jim Ashley. If you did a work in if you did a selling a curry, a whole heap of beat you that get every thief, your thief, Juliet, you get a lick. How disgraceful for our country when the head of the legislature and the head of the executive is wrapped up in court fighting over stolen property and thieving money. How does that look for our country? Why Jamaica no sister this year something to demonstrate about? I don't want to so have a this year Jamaica and that the Jamaica. I'm not doing one thing to protect one iota of it. Where charlatan family take the whole country for you and I run it in a for them embezzlement racketeering organization like seriously Jamaica. Or just gone a bed, so. You, Jamaica, was the first person to stand up against apartheid, you know. You probably don't remember. You were the strongest voice against apartheid, but you, Jamaica, come to the day support Israel and the same apartheid issue. How does that work, Jamaica? We have lost it. We have lost it. But then again, if we are ruled by thief and corrupt financial criminal, what do you expect? Them a thief land and them a thief money. What do you expect? How far do you expect us to go? When Andrew Holness is possibly the next finance minister of our country, which part on go? How far do you expect to reach? Look on the Tesla electric vehicle them and Jamaica still sit down on donkey cart. Jamaica still sit down on donkey cart and the whole away plan to go somewhere. All right. Stay over there. Stay over there. And don't get up. Everybody around this world from COVID a push back against government and Jamaicans go under bed and Andrew come under the con hall on water and still no have no problem with it. We no soon get on the marching orders. Sit down till the marching orders come. Sit down till the Chinese soldier them roll up on the doorway. Sit down. Vernon Adams. We don't know what TikTok on no bad. We don't know that dance on no bad. We don't know the pan street on no bad. But none of no can bad to protect Jamaica. Few little family thief with country and a run off with it and the whole on of silence because you know what? As long as on the belly full today and on just care about on the belly full today, on don't care if on eat tomorrow. That's why politicians can roll over when ram raid over we because all we look for is to the belly full. We don't care if we pick them have Finiam next week. Careless country that we are. Very careless. And that's why we're not improving or achieving Anthony Morgan. Hey. Boy. All right. Him to resign. Okay. If him resign, so what? Do you think it going to stop Andrew from thief? Do you think it going to stop with and call Andrew thief? Do you think it's going to prevent the world from knowing that the Prime Minister of Jamaica and his wife are thief? Do you? Listen here, lady. Brain and muscle important. But history show with say muscle. deteriorate faster than brain. Because I said Juliet Cockburn Finn, I run you run forget where you are go. Justice Spantan, read and write, forget where I go. And we know say an 80, 90-year-old can still have their academic wit about them. One pan the chap, Cockburn Finn, at 80-year-old, you tough old bark of tree. But we gave you all the power to speak. It's only that when you speak from the backside of a cow. Yes, it's how you all speak. When you speak from the backside of a cow. Nasty girl will tell journalists, say, move your bumbo blood pussy rascal from here. And you are going to come ask a retired judge to apologize, to resign over insult. So what if you are insulted? Which part of freedom of speech prevent anyone away from insult? A bullshit in our way. Talk to Juliet. Tell me, where have you ever seen anything in the law that says the law said we can't tell lie pound, you know? The law said we can't make up things and talk it when I go so. So the law said. The law said we can't spread hate speech against, you know, we can't incite violence against, you know. But nasty girl, the law never said me can't call you nasty. Careless girl, dunce girl, where Justice Spantan call, you know. The law never said me couldn't do that. The law protect me to insult and offend you. And anybody will turn up in my way when I like it. That's what freedom of speech protect, my dear. I can insult, offend, or anything as long as I'm not inciting violence, hatred, or I'm defaming your reputation and character. I can call you a nasty little dipstick. I can call you a little flippity gibbet if I so choose. I can call you a zootipec of the first order. I can call you a beast if I choose. All those are insults. I can call you no mad, like Dr. Justice Pantan Carlin or Patricia Matthews. How you do? How you getting on? I can call you mad if I want. The law doesn't prevent me from saying that. Freedom of speech protect that. You ball-pointed fool. You dipstick. You zootopec. You flippited gibbet. Why do you think people have respect for Uno? What it is about Uno, what it is that you all have displayed in public, that Uno things say, if you have respect to Uno and talk to Uno good, what is it? Can you explain it? Because people like me would want to understand it. So if we need to twist our way around it to meet your NIMBY eyes petulant mentality, then we can tweak and twine with self. But until then, you're a done soul fool. Shut up and move on. Hey, Dr. Dipstick, Dr. Sophia Shortless. They call her Longmore. A shame, you shame. A shame, you shame, say you dead with it. All of them so long, Sophia. And you met Justice Spantan come there before you were trained to find out, Sophia. When people are drink mad puss piss, you did it with them, you know. They have been drinking it, gallons of it, Shortless. Gallons of it. And it never occurred to you that there's tantamount of mad piss drinking going on in Parliament. And Justice Panton come there and point it out that as the psychiatrist here, because me no know what them take you out of Bellevue or wherever put you there so far, because I don't see the contribution of our parliament or you to our mental health in the country, Sophia Shortless. So therefore, if them drag you come there, you should have look after for them mental health. If them have breakdown, if them a drink mad piss, if them a hear voices Sophia Shortless, if they're depressed Sophia Shortless, because a job like that would generally come with clinical depression, would it not? If you have to get up and tell so much lie every day, it is something that would drive one into clinical depression, because when you come out today and tell the lie, then tonight you have to go back home, go war with your pillow and say, Jesus Christ, my conscience. And then tomorrow you get up and you go there and you tell another lie and you go back to bed tomorrow night. And it's the same war with the pillow. What that does, it leads to clinical depression, anxiety, and all those faddles. So your job, Sophia Shortless, Sandra Ellis, how you do, O'Neill Gale, was to look after these people, because you know that they do nothing else. If you're a mad doctor, you're supposed to look after mad people. That's how it goes, isn't it? I saw it go. But because Justice Panton come identify, they are crazy here. Whatever time they get here, they're drinking something that they don't drink normally when they're out there. Therefore, may I carry my water? Let's listen to the lashing. Because these are the particular part where rub them greatly. You all are no match for Justice Panton. We don't even have to try me in this war with Una, because 2 sentences from Justice Panton are no crippled. Let's listen to Justice Panton opening speech, then we will get back to it.
Of 4 of us saying that we are bringing down the government. Now, in this climate, for a member of parliament to be doing that, it's reprehensible. And I have not heard any parliamentarian condemn it. And they are sending out, there are parliamentarians sending out WhatsApp notes of all sorts of reprehensible things. And I hope that somebody will take the leadership to correct them. We on the Commission, we are committed to doing what the legislation permits us to do. That is what is happening. And it is not fair for the employees to be set in a stage where they can be set upon. So I trust that folks will realize that the reports that we send from the Integrity Commission, they are reports of facts. There are factual statements in the reports. Of course, there are recommendations attached to the reports which the law allows. The law says that the Director of Investigation may make recommendations. The recommendations that are made, the Parliament need not follow them. In fact, the Parliament in Jamaica has a history of recommendations being made by people who make reports, Commission of Inquiry, and the recommendations are ignored. So we understand that. And we should not really have a situation where we are being pilloried for doing what the legislation allows. Now, in relation to this annual report, Mr. Chairman, it was dispatched to the Parliament in late June. The letter that I signed sending it is dated the 24th of June. And I did notice that no sooner than the annual report left the offices of the Integrity Commission, no sooner than it left the offices, there were public broadcasts of it before it was tabled. And I noticed that it happened also with another report that was sent subsequently, and another report that was sent last week. Now, if it is thought that anyone in the Commission is leaking these reports, we would like it brought to our attention, we would like it investigated, because anybody in the Commission who leaks, if it's an employee, instant dismissal. But I find it strange that that all these things would be leaked immediately after it leaves the Commission and sent to Parliament. I find it puzzling to understand if it is happening from the Commission, why is it that it is delayed, the leak is delayed until it is sent away from the office. I cast no aspersions, but I want to add a personal note, Mr. Chairman, if you'll allow me, that back on this question of manners, I have been a lay preacher in the Methodist Church for decades. Malice is not in my makeup, and it is not in the makeup of the commissioners. And there may be persons who need to repent, and they can join me at church, Providence Methodist, any Sunday. I don't know if something is wrong with the water in Parliament, why some people, the moment they get into Parliament, they say certain things and behave a certain way. I don't know if that is it. As a result, I decided that I wasn't going to take the chance of drinking any water here. Another feature, Mr. Chairman, which I'm very serious about, is that because of what has been happening, I personally intend to see if I can meet with Senator Longmore, Doctor, to have a word with her, because it may well be that she needs to have a word with some members of the House. And so I present to you, Mr. Chairman, the 6th annual report, which has been compiled in keeping with the law. The law.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman, not to interrupt you on the flow of your eloquence, and indeed the wonderful parliamentary theatre.
That is what they cannot deal with. That robbed them. But I'm going to show you how it robbed nationwide. And, you know, nationwide, boy, them always turn themselves round to get closer to the politician them. There's one there that is turning himself round constantly. let us bring in the bitter weed for a minute.
Just before we go to the break, Siobhan, I just want to say something about this because there were members of the committee who laughed along when the retired justice made those comments. When he suggested, he brought his own water to the parliament because, can't you imagine what the parliamentarians are drinking? It must be contaminated, the suggestion was. And that he would speak to the senator, who is a psychiatrist. Clearly an indication that he believes that members of the House may have taken leave of their senses. And our lawmakers who sat in that committee, some of them laughed along. As a Jamaican, I found it offensive and disrespectful and contemptuous of the legislature. And I do not believe that the lawmakers who were present in that space should have allowed it without responding forcefully. And let me tell you why I say that. The Parliament, whatever the commissioners of the Integrity Commission thinks of the body or the current composition, is still the Parliament. And listeners, those 63 members in the House of Representatives, they represent you and me, our interests. And when anybody appears before that body and treats it with contempt, they are treating you and me with contempt. We voted for those 63 people to go there to represent us. And that committee is the only committee that exercises any kind of oversight of what is a commission of the legislature. It was not acceptable. It was disrespectful. And it shouldn't have been allowed to go by with laughter. I was disappointed in my lawmaker.
If you're disappointed, we can buy you a piece of rope. We can direct you to the nearest bridge. We could also buy Vaseline to grease you, or we could even ask Diddy for a bottle of baby oil to make sure when you get up on the gantry you're greasy, so in a little slip. If you're that irritated, I mean bridge and rope, what do you expect? But me notice, Uno nationwide, Uno is the media that is leading the attack against the Integrity Commission. So what this freak is saying to us, corrupt though they might be, we elect them to be corrupt, and nobody enough will look at them and tell them, say, Uno dunce, Uno mad. Let me show you a video, if you're not aware of it, why Justice Panton convinced say they're mad, because it is what they display in public.
That I stand in full support
of the best Prime Minister
since 1962.
Is the man of integrity, love,
And I am very lucky
to have an outstanding Prime Minister.
a leader that we can be so proud of.
The transformation.
I just gave away 87 black tanks.
Is the best we have had.
Southwest St. Elizabeth is in full support. Ladies first.
Of the most honorable, I should say, Dr. Andrew Michael Onis.
How could I not support a leader who is moving Jamaica forward?
And your Holiness, continue to be the leader you are.
And I'll do everything in my powers to ensure that he
Lead until he is ready to go.
Prime Minister and Party Leader, Andrew Holness.
After watching that, does it not appear to you as psychiatric intervention is required? So what did Justice Panton said? In that context, that was insulting. Sophia Langmore, you are the psychiatrist, you're the parliament, And so much people are drink mad puss piss round you, and you never recognize until Justice Panton come there and hold the cup and say, that's mad puss piss. You cannot continue to drink it. I mean, where are you all? Me grow in a corner like I have to go speed up now because I have an appointment and I have a few more things to discuss. Delroy Chuck and Tom Tavares round a corner junk. Don't you think that's madness? But onto the beryllium something, me I go share a picture. If I not saw it go, I'll have to remove it. But bear on the chance. I've been made aware that this is the young man arrested for the beryllium conundrum. I'm also being made aware that this is a family photo. I'm also being made aware his mother have a Clark's store in Halfway Tree called Signature Styles. Everybody know him as a bad man who gives a lot of trouble. His girlfriend used to work at Beryllium. I wonder though, the Portmore Point beryllium attack on the Scotia Bank in Port. I wonder if it has anything to do with this cup. Just asking for my big finger, you see. You know, sometimes the other four finger me no, and the big finger no. I'm just asking for my big finger. Just asking. Mm-hmm. The big house. I wonder where the big house come from. Just asking. I wonder if Sophia Langmore would know. Just asking Sophia Langmore. What else do we have? Well, this is something I support, and I think it needs to not be only in the school, but within the wider community where I think it's the upcoming JTA president wants more social intervention programs to tackle violence in school. I think I've said this to the Ministry of Education and National Security. It needs to be a multi-systemic approach where you have all the major players involved in the church, the communities, and the home, as well as social services, Ministry of Justice, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education, and all the necessary different apparatus to make sure a well put together social intervention pack is put in place across the island in our schools to stem the violence and the blood flow that we're seeing increasingly in our schools. What else do we have to? Well, this problem with the judiciary and the Ministry of Justice continue to wallow. The Chief Justice is now calling for budgetary independence for the judiciary. So let's see how them and Ministry of Justice get on with this. We see where Brian Sykes put out the states of the courts across the country. Oh, that's the bloody hand, Tom. But this is the last subject I want to speak about because, you know, it might get to Jamaica at some point. And it's discussing assisted suicide, or what is called euthanasia, assisted dying. Ungo 81, I don't like mind me jump off of my rockers this morning. I don't even bother start. Okay, let's talk about assisted dying. Assisted dying has long been a debate in this country. It has gone through the before the courts several times, up to the Supreme Court and the Human Rights Court, to fight these areas. There's very few different people that has taken it to the courts, asking for the government for the right to die. Now, when this happens, this normally takes place with people who have life-threatening illness, such as people who are paralyzed by a stroke, or people who have motor neuron disease, or it's a debilitating illnesses, people who have debilitating illnesses that will fall in this category. So one of the person who took this case, he was called Noel Connolly. You have the Tony Nicholson case, one of the most famous of all the cases, were the Diane Pretty case, for those in Britain who remembers the story well. And at all time, what the court ruled in all of these challenges before the court when it comes to assisted dying, euthanasia, assisted suicide, however you want to call it, the court always says this is not an issue for the court. If we are to have euthanasia legalized in this country, then Parliament is the ultimate authority to do that. And pretty much most of the court ruling to do with assisted dying, the court ruled on a similar pattern by pushing the problem to Parliament. Parliament should be the one to legislate on this matter. Parliament always tend to brush it aside, but a Labour Party member has taken a private bill to Parliament in order to legalize assisted dying in the United Kingdom. Now, the whole assisted dying is a very tricky area because it is a balance in human rights law if it was to ever be legalized in this country. People in this country who wants to cop out of it early would normally go to Switzerland ahead of time because assisted dying is legalized in Switzerland. And you have cases where people from Britain with debilitating illnesses make their way to Switzerland to die. One such case was the Daniel James case. That was quite a famous case in Britain where he was a sportman and he became paralyzed. I think it was a rugby player and he became paralyzed after that, and he wanted to cop out early, and his family journeyed to Switzerland with him to have his euthanasia done. And when his family returned, they were arrested, but the director of prosecution later ruled that they would not prosecute the family. So because of all of these things now, Parliament have finally taken it on to legislate. It was one of my essay choice, but I refused to write on it because I really don't know much where I stand on the issue of euthanasia, because euthanasia can be abused when it comes to those who are elderly and mental health, or those with inheritance to pass on. So it is a balance of proportionality to strike when it comes to human rights, dying with dignity, and right to life, and a whole. This is why I did not write an essay on this, because the balance that ought to be struck when it comes to assisted dying, it's quite much a broad thing, because the person whole mental capacity comes in. If it's a person with wealth, it comes in. Is there family pressure? Is there undue influence? And all of that galanging. So I didn't really write on that era because I didn't know where I stand on it and how I would argue how I would have struck a balance in a particular case. So I will follow this case in the proceedings in the UK and see if such legislation get passed through Parliament and assisted suicide becomes legalized in the United Kingdom. And you know, when Britain sneezes, Britain colonies can have a flu also. So it is something to watch out for going down the line. Wonder why Dr. Tufton is so silent. Is so silent. Dr. Tufton is rather silent, missing in action. What is the plot, Doctor? That's my final question for you. What is the plot? Thank you all very much for being here this morning. I'm going to have to rush now because I have things to run out there and do. Glad to have your company here with me. And if you don't want to go research the Beryllium man upon Facebook, him name Jamaica King. Because I'm always a post up only for money on Facebook. So, if you don't want to go look into him business, on Facebook, him name Jamaica King. Thank you all very much for if it's Bailey Boy, me know you cuss yourself this morning. Said Dirty Andrew. Why you never do the unconstitutional extension of my time? So me could have in this a big boss Andrew. Andrew me gonna share for me and you know. But anyway, Andrew may have his plan up his sleeve as well, because we don't know if we didn't kill Dean Shaw over. Andrew, you know you're nothing about Dean Shaw that all now. Because up until now, from the drugs bust up a Havendale and kill Dean Shaw down a Warrianda. No gun, no fire. Just like how when shot one of the integrity man, whoever answer wherever him name, whoever him be. And no don't even want answer Justice Spantan letter, but if you not think on Justice Spantan one in the war, yeah. Even though Justice Spantan no need no crowd, because 2 sentences from Justice Spantan take down the whole 60 down. Dunce like bat. Good morning and thank you. Join us later on The People's Point of View. Ta-ta!